Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of On the Couch with Creatives. I say good morning because I'm here in the UK, but good afternoon or good evening if you're anywhere else in the world. I'm Melanie Perry.
And I'm Julie Hyde-Mew.
This is On the Couch with Creatives, and fans who've been following us for a while will know that we are part of the Creatives Network, the professional network for creative professionals everywhere. Together, we help you to connect, grow and develop your creative business. But this is On the Couch. So Julie, who do we have on the couch today?
Today we have KAT Paylor-Bent, and Kat is a very special person. She's an adaptive fashion designer, and that means she designs clothes for people who are bedbound, wheelchair bound, and she specializes in creating unique, bespoke outfits for the disabled community.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here and meet you both.
I'm super excited. I'm bouncing up and down because I've spoken to you before and I know that this is going to be a real treat. So can I ask the first question? Julie normally asks the first question, but I'm going to get in quickly. Kat, tell us about your story, because you weren't born disabled, were you? You were made disabled as a result of medical negligence, really, even no other word. Tell us what happened, because it's quite a story.
Yes, so I still class myself as newly disabled. I've only had 16 years experience of it, so I'm a baby in the disabled world, really. So 16 years ago, I picked up my 6-month-old baby who was crying. And when I did that, I herniated a disc onto my spinal column. And the surgery to repair that actually went wrong and left me in hospital for 9 months. So yeah, I wheeled out of hospital 9 months later, very, very different person to the one that was admitted.
Yeah,
not easy when you have such a young baby.
No, exactly. So my parents moved in with my husband so we could keep Tom at home. And he was brought to visit me every single day, but I missed all of his firsts. So I didn't know he was walking until my mum let go of his hand and he sort of toddled down the ward, which she thought was really lovely thing to do, but it actually broke my heart because it's like they're the sort of things that every mum sort of gets excited to see and watch. So that was really difficult. And just having your life turned upside down with doing something so simple. There's no black ski runs or jumping out of aeroplanes or massive car crashes. It was literally picking up a crying baby. So
it makes you go cold. And in your case, the surgeon who was supposed to be doing your operation, I think you said, was not available. He was off playing golf somewhere, and it was a junior surgeon who couldn't really cope with it.
Yeah. So the doctor who was my consultant was on the golf course. He signed off the surgery as being on site. We didn't get any compensation for it. All we could get was poor note keeping, because all of the evidence had been removed from my notes. And the gentleman who did do my surgery had never done it before. He'd only ever watched.
I mean, yeah, it's appalling, isn't it? I mean, we're not going to dwell on this, but I just find it, so awful that not only were you left disabled, but you say it's not just the physical disability, it's the fact that you didn't see your son's first steps. All of that was taken from you by incompetence, and the medical profession has closed ranks, as they do. Oh well, not really our problem, get on with it. But saying that, you have blossomed, you have actually created an amazing new career for yourself. So tell us a little bit about how that came about.
So yeah, you become disabled and you're very much told, well, you can't do that, just go home and try your best, but you'll be bedbound forever. And I'm like, the worst thing anyone can tell me is that I can't do something, because I have this drive to prove people wrong all the time.
Sounds like Melanie.
So yeah, don't ever tell me that there's something that I'm not able to do. And as my confidence grew, you're always given these deadlines by the medical profession. So it's like, well, if by 3 years nothing's repaired, then it won't. And then 7, and we got to 10, and it's like, you know what, this is just going to be forever. So we've got 2 choices. We either just take it lying down, and I'm this poor disabled person who's got a really sad story and does nothing, or I can change the narrative completely. I can use it to actually define who I am. And all the knowledge that we were gaining through this, it's like, it's wasted. We should be sharing this with people. And so I'd always found, after I became disabled, my clothes didn't fit right. Sitting in a wheelchair wasn't comfortable enough. So I started playing and making my own clothes and altering them. And the joy of Instagram is, as people found out and heard about it, they then were asking me. And then my paths crossed with the wonderful Isaac Harvey, who I know's already sat on this couch with you. And the adventure sort of went from there. So Seated Sewing is now a bespoke clothing company. We specialise in wheelchair users, but any disability, short stature, limb difference, we cater to all of them, because there is no one out there catering for them. And we want to look special. We want to go to events. We want to dress up and do fashion week and look as great as everybody else does. So
Well, Isaac certainly looks great. I mean, you've used him as a model for London Fashion Week.
yes, yeah, Isaac's great. He was the first person that I made bespoke clothes for who had any reach within the community. And so I was quite privileged and a little bit scared to have to dress him, because I had no idea how big all of this would become. But it's, yeah, he wears his clothes well, does Isaac?
He does. We've got a
He
little
does.
clip of him here that we're going to run at rocking London Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here you go.
Energy, make some noise. Hey, yes. Sporting that purple velvet, fearless fierceness, work, energy.
And that was Isaac Harvey absolutely owning the catwalk at London Fashion Week in his gorgeous, wonderful clothes made by Kat. And I think it's just really great as well that you've touched on, it's not just wheelchair users, but people that are ill. So people that are maybe hooked up to machines, or who need special openings in their clothes. And you know what, my mum always used to say, whenever I was ill as a child, or if she got ill, you want to still make sure that your hair's done nicely and you've got your makeup on and you do look nice. And she'd always make sure that I always had a fresh nightie on or whatever when I was ill. Everything was clean and fresh and made you feel better. So I think clothes, having nice clothes, the choice of nice clothes, to still feel human. You don't, as you said, you don't want to be frumpy in like tracksuit bottoms and oversized t-shirts that just make you feel frumpy and horrible.
Yeah, it's right. I think people don't realize that what we wear affects how we feel so much. But then it's sort of, it works against us sometimes, because I've been to appointments where I've done my hair, I've done my makeup, I've got my high heels on, and then the doctor goes, but you don't look ill. And it's like, well, yeah, if I came looking like I really look when I don't make an effort, you'd probably admit me because I look ghastly. But why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't we be sat in a waiting room? People are going to look. I've come to this conclusion that people look anywhere. So you know what? Let's give them something to look at, whether it's really crazily high heels or it's clothes that you can't buy in the supermarket. Just let them look.
So how did your business evolve from being obviously you sitting at home with your sewing machine to landing up at London Fashion Week?
By networking, really, by talking to other designers. There's so few adaptive designers out there, so we're a very close community. And what's really nice is the adaptive fashion community are very different to the traditional fashion industry, because we're all striving for the same thing. We're all wanting to make disabled people's lives a little bit easier, a little more comfortable. And so there's such a great camaraderie, and everyone's wanting to help each other. So my paths crossed with Victoria Jenkins, who started Unhidden, and my very first introduction into the fashion world really was, she did a pop-up shop in London, which was the first adaptive department store in the world. So there was 10 designers who came to to Oxford Street, and for the day people could come in and buy adaptive clothing in one place, which strangely in 2021 it had never happened before, which blew our mind really. And it's gone from there. People have obviously found out what I can do, and I said I was never going to do a fashion show because I didn't think that was the way my brand was going. But that's changed now. So in July, I'll have my first ever fashion show, which will be at Disability Expo at Excel. And I will have 10 amazing models wearing bespoke outfits. And yeah, it still blows my mind that that's actually going to be happening, and the people are interested in wearing my clothes.
Well, they are. I mean, there are a lot of disabled people in the world, not, you know, people that have been born with a disability, people who have become ill and have suddenly found themselves hooked up to all sorts of machines for goodness knows how long. People like yourself who have, you know, okay, maybe they have jumped out of a plane and, you know, landed badly, or like yourself who've done something so everyday and then suddenly found themselves in such a terrible position and their world is turned upside down. And like you, I have to admit, you know, 2021, why isn't there, you know, that you're not, I mean, okay, you may be classed as a minority, but there are a lot of disabled people out there, and why shouldn't they have access to decent clothes, decent footwear? There are people who work for companies still who are disabled. And I saw a lovely post, I think it might have been one of your posts on LinkedIn, Kat, with a lovely lady, or might have been yourself, with a ball gown, the green ball gown with the shoes.
Yes, Emma Jane, yes.
Yeah, is that one of your creations?
So I altered that to work for her wheelchair. So Emma Jane, she does pageants, and up until now she's just had to buy what she can buy and make it fit with our wheelchair. But I was introduced to her last October, and she's literally lives 10 miles from me. So we're in touch now, and she will be on my catwalk. I am creating a ball gown for her. So yeah, why not look as glamorous as everybody else that goes to a pageant?
How exactly do you adapt something like a ball gown for a wheelchair?
So most ball gowns, they have a lot of fabric in them. The majority of them that I've been doing for Emma Jane, they have something called a fish tail, a mermaid tail at the back. So it's a little bit of a train. Well, if you're in a wheelchair, you can't sit on that much fabric. It gets caught in your wheels. So we have to take that fish tail out the back, and we make it a bit shorter as well, because they're always made for walking in heels. So we have to take the hems up, and it's just about removing material so that it doesn't rub, it doesn't cause sores, it doesn't tangle anywhere, while also keeping the elements that she really likes. So we still
the
go
look.
for the big look. Yeah, we're able to show off the stunning shoes that she wears. She's still able to move about in it. She can do our transfers, so everything's safe, but she isn't in these reams and reams of fabric that would normally come along with ball gowns or pageant dresses.
Yeah, because they're quite fluffy. You know, the bottom half tend to sort of poof out in one way or another, and if you're trying to sit on that, or you know, either at the back or sitting to where your bottom is, it would be highly uncomfortable for anyone to sit on that for very long.
And it's slippy as well. If you think of the wheelchairs, they tend to have plastic cushions on them or some sort of fabric. So the way fabrics are put together that you're wearing against a wheelchair as well have to be taken into consideration.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't want to just slip off.
No, exactly.
So when a client comes to you, do they come to you, or do you go and see them? Because obviously you need to take their measurements and the wheelchair measurements.
Yeah, so it's a mix of both. I've had clients come to my house. I've also met clients at theirs. It's whatever works, really. We have done it where it's via Zoom before, so I'll talk them through a measurement. It's a little harder, but we have managed to create outfits that way. And then we tend to do a fitting, and then we'll do a final reveal. So it's quite a collaborative. They'll come and tell me what they like, some ideas, what they need, how it needs to work for their body, and then we'll come up with some funky design.
What's been your favorite design so far, would you say? Do you have a favorite, or are they all quite special?
They are all quite special, but I really do love the one that I did for Isaac, which was September, and it was purple, and we put him in feathers. He just wore it so well, and it followed the theme. So it was Kente cloth. His family are from Trinidad Tobago, so we wanted to incorporate that in some way. He wanted to look ridiculously fashionable, and feathers sort of fed into that ridiculously fashionable idea.
Ridiculously fabulous.
It was, yes,
fabulous, wasn't he?
No, but you could just see, you could just hear Isaac saying that. I want to look ridiculously fabulous.
I know. That was my only brief as well. Like that's all he said. I want to look ridiculously fashionable, and the rest was left to me, which was really adventurous but really scary, because I'm like, what if he doesn't like it? What if it's over the top? But
did he like it?
He loved it, and he's worn it since.
Maybe while he's just been awarded an MBE, maybe when he gets his OBE, he'll wear it to the palace.
Well, he's getting a new outfit for collecting his MBE, so we are waiting.
Oh, is he actually going somewhere to get the MBE?
My understanding is that he will be going to Buckingham Palace to collect it.
Oh, and you are going to be doing his outfits.
I am.
How exciting, Kat.
It's very scary.
Wow. Well, hopefully we'll see, or maybe we can get you both back on the couch afterwards.
Oh, that would be exciting. Yeah, then he can tell us all about it.
Yeah, and get the pictures. I want pictures.
Oh,
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. And what I just love about your story is that, you know, some people, when things happen, as you say, some people can sit down in their gloom, or some people can go on a crusade and I say waste, but you know, when you start going after people and trying to get compensation and fighting the system, and the medical system is really hard, because the GMC just tend to close ranks, and you don't have a fighting hope in hell, and you can waste years and years and years banging that drum, and you still absorb all that sorrow and anger and just frustration, whereas you've kind of gone down a path and got to a point where you've realized, okay, it's never going to happen. I'm not going to waste my life on it. I'm going to look at what I can do
Yeah.
And look at what you can do. I mean, you found such a niche, which in my opinion shouldn't really be that much of a niche. You know, it needs to be brought to the wider world, which is why I'm so delighted to have you on. And you know, that's what I would urge everybody who's watching this, or if you know somebody who is disabled or, you know, having a tough time, try and think of what can you do. You know, what can you use, what can you do? I mean, you have made these wonderful clothes and everything, and Isaac, you know, who's got no arms and very, very short legs, it does brilliant job of producing, editing video. You know, I mean, that's why I love you so much, because you're, I'm sorry, but sorry these people, I'm fiddling with my clothes, I've got it sticking out and irritating me. I can't sit in front of a fashion
You need
designer.
a fashion designer, Melanie.
Fashion designer with bits
A
sticking out.
bespoke fashion designer.
God, sorry, but you know, the things that you that you create and that you do are just so wonderful, and it's so lovely to follow both of your stories about all the things that you can do and can get up to, and bringing awareness to people of actually you don't have to sit in this bubble of anger or resentment or fear almost as well, because again, sometimes if you're not feeling great, you don't want to go out, you don't want to be seen, do you, sometimes? And if you can go out in a fabulous Kat seated sewing outfit and look marvelous, you know, you're going to have more confidence to go out and perhaps try something new.
Yeah, definitely. And I think because my son's got autism, so what he wears affects him quite a lot. He's very sensory. So I've made his clothes so that he's comfortable. And we got to the point where we were fighting on my front, we were fighting for Tom and his needs. And it's like, there's only so much fighting a family can do. At some point, we've just got to draw a line in the sand and say, this is it. This is how we're going to live our life. And I wanted to prove to Tom that it didn't matter what his condition was. He can do anything he wants to. And I can only do that by setting the example of not laying in bed, and as much as I'd love to, because it's
but we all like a good lion.
Yeah,
but what
exactly.
did you do, Kat? What did you do before your incident? What did you do before? Obviously you must have been a sewer of some expertise.
Yes, so my my grandmother was a seamstress, so that's I always vividly remember her kitchen table was always full of fabric and patterns, and she made for us. And I've always sewn, so I just started doing little things that I could do from my bed as I was recovering. And then it sort of, as my recovery improved, then I was able to do a little bit more and a little bit more. And it was just building up the resilience, really, and understanding what I could do with a sewing machine, because losing the use of your legs, it's quite difficult. You imagine you can't do very much. But as I say, this determined streak in me was to prove otherwise.
Boy, did you.
Yes.
You're having fun. This is the good thing. You know, you and Isaac have a right roaring time together, don't you?
We do. We have an absolute ball, because we're just both so passionate about proving what can be done. I mean, watching Isaac work is incredible. What that man can do having no arms is just breathtaking. And it's like, if he can do that, then you can put your mind to anything. Exactly. I haven't gone as far as skiing, and I haven't jumped out of airplanes yet.
But he's done that, and he's sailed in tall ships. And
yes, exactly. No,
yeah, no.
I haven't been that brave yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think you get me up. I don't do heights whatsoever, and I'm sorry, you know, able-bodied, or if something happens, but you still would not get me up a pole. No.
No, I don't think so either.
But we might be able to push you out of a plane.
No,
Yes.
I'd be like, you know, the cat. No, I'm not. No. I would have one glued to eat. No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, this part of me would really love to, and then it's part of me thinking, you can guarantee I'll land wrong and then completely finish my back off.
Oh yes, of course. You have to consider these things. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I don't do heights. No, I just no.
So what are your top 3 tips, Kat, for people who are overcoming disabilities and launching their own creative careers? Not necessarily in fashion design, but in any creative career.
In anything that you can dream as big as you want. I've always said, if you dream and aim for the moon, even if you fail, you land in the stars. It's going to be a success. You've just got to try, and don't let, you're always going to have the people that say, no, it's not for you. Take it easy, you know. Go and prove them wrong. There's nothing wrong with trying, because it's not really trying and failing, because you will always learn from that process. There is always something that you can carry on, and even if it's not in business, it may be something in life. So just go for it. Aim high, dream big, and start.
Start, yeah, just start. Think
Mhm.
positively, you know, just start thinking of what you can do rather than what you can't, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Any more?
Find your niche, find what you love,
Mhm.
find what your passion is, because if you follow your passion, then it never feels like work. You enjoy every day as an adventure, and you wake up not knowing what to expect. And yeah, so make sure that what you do, you're passionate about, or you're passionate about the end goal, because it's that will keep you going on the days when you really are struggling and life gets hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I was mentoring some kids at Reading this morning, and I was saying exactly that, because one little chap said, I want to have just a stable job. I know you said I should go for something I like, but I just want to have a stable job. That's really important to me. And I said, that's wonderful. I said, but the two things don't have to be mutually exclusive.
No.
You know, you can have a stable job with good money and good earnings and good prospects that you really love as well.
Yeah, and you're more likely to have a stable job if it's something you love. Because not every day, we've learnt this through either ill health or circumstances. Every day isn't fun like Fashion Week is fun. Some days it's hard, and being disabled, you're constantly juggling health and conditions and circumstances, and some days you're not all laughy and jokey. Some days are hard to get through, but it's having those memories that actually help you get through those harder times.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and everybody has off days, and not everybody's up in the clouds and woo woo all the time. Nobody is. You're going to have your down days, but if you can keep hold of those things where they have gone well, and you say your memories, then I think that's really important, because they do sustain you through the crap times. We all hit crap times every now and again. We do. It's just part of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. On that note, I'll break out my cards.
Yeah, heard about the cards.
No, they're famous. They're famous. I've made these cards for my lovely cards that I like, because they're so soft and silky. Right. Okay.
Okay, they're going to push you. They're going to push you out of your comfort zone, Kat.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just say whatever comes into your head, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, but it'll be coming from somewhere deep within you.
Exactly, deep within your psyche. Right. Okay.
Goodness.
This is the on the couch bit of the on the couch.
Wonderful. Let's go
Okay.
for it.
So I'll spread them out. Try and spread them out. It's cold, so my arthritis is a bit bad today. So I'll try not to fling them everywhere. I've been dropping things all morning. You know, so I've had one of those mornings where I just can't seem to touch anything without it magically finding its way across the room or on the floor. Right. Okay. So I'll run my finger around. You just say stop, and I'll pick a card. Stop.
Yep.
Right. Okay. This is a good one. This is a good one for you. You have picked beauty.
Oh,
Beauty.
that's fantastic,
isn't it? These are spooky. These our guests always usually pick something that's really sort of on point for what we've been talking about. Okay, so as we're creatives, we're going to ask you creatively about beauty. So, Kat, what does beauty mean to you? What does it look, feel, and sound like?
Everybody is beautiful. there isn't one particular look or image. We are all individual and we are all beautiful in our own right. And what we get bombarded with in the media is not beauty. It's a fake representation of life, unfortunately.
What does it feel like?
Pardon, sorry, what was that?
What does it feel like, do you think?
Feel like beauty, it feels like a hug from your best friend. One of those really tight.
Warm and snuggy, like this.
Yeah.
This is really warm and snuggy.
Yeah, like you can't, exactly.
I'm liking this jumper that I bought.
Yeah,
You know,
it's perfect.
Really soft and snuggly. I like that.
Yeah.
What does it sound like?
It sounds like bird song.
Yeah. I love that. The morning bird song. I like that. That's a really lovely sound, isn't it? Yeah. And we're going to go one better now, just because we did it with Isaac. Because I made a mistake in Isaac's interview, and I asked him, instead of what it sounds like, I said, what does it smell like? Oh. But it was quite good, so we kept it in. So what does it smell like?
What does it smell like? Well, Isaac will understand this. It smells when you walk into a room and it smells expensive. We have been at certain events and you walk in and it's like, you can smell the money. It just smells different.
It does. I know exactly what you mean. I do. And I think that is an absolutely brilliant answer. Because as soon as you said that, I had this vision. I know exactly what you're talking about. Some places in London, you know, yes, absolutely. Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. I really love that. Anyway, we've run out of time. So thank you so much, Kat, for being our guest on the couch. And we will definitely invite you back. So we'd love to talk to you.
With Isaac. And then you can tell us all about London Fashion Week.
Definitely.
Yes. And his MBE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does he know when he's going? Did you say?
No, he's still
waiting for a date.
Still waiting for confirmation of where and when.
Yeah, I think.
Well, we can have you back again after that, and you can talk about his outfit.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. If you want to get in touch with Kat as well, all her details have been going across the screen. So please do give her a follow. Get in touch if you know of anybody who is, you know, in a wheelchair who'd like to explore adaptive fashion, or anybody, you know, might know who's poorly, who needs to be a little bit more comfortable in the clothes that they wear. Please do get in touch with Kat, and I'm sure she'll be delighted to help and share this with your friends. Share it across the world, because everybody needs to know who Kat is, and Isaac too. Absolutely, you will love their company just as we have loved their company. But until next time, we need to say goodbye. Bye for now.
Bye.